Hi, I'm Carol Barsha. I'm an artist. I live in Montgomery County. We're here at the American University Art Museum at the Katzen Art Center, where I am participating in an exhibition with two other women artists. This exhibit is called Landscape in an Eroded Field, and it pairs three women artists with quite different approaches to concepts of nature and really what human beings are doing right now in terms of what's happening with climate change. I've been a painter all my life, and this work in this show represents many years of work. I spent a long time walking, collecting specimens, whether they're pine cones or birds' nests I find on the ground. Anything, I never know what's going to inspire me. I think I use birds because they represent a kind of fragility to me. I'm always fascinated how they're surviving outside through all the changes in the weather. I try to represent them, and also mostly nests, because I'm fascinated by the fact that they are their nests, but also that they build them, that they're so beautiful, that they're circular. Many, many things interest me. Over the last years, I've become very focused on the structure of flowers, and I use them as a kind of reference point to build compositions. I have a more subtle approach to what I'm trying to say, because I just am fascinated by the forms I see in nature. I'm trying to build these compositions that are also beautiful. I spend a lot of time drawing, and drawing is the basis for these paintings. So all of these paintings are water-based materials, which I layer. It's very important to me to save the white of the paper as an essential element in the work. So where you see white, it's actually the paper, which means I have to build these compositions negatively. In other words, I always have to think about what has to remain, which gets complicated. In many of the more recent work, I actually use a razor blade and have to carve back areas that I've painted, taking the top layer of paint off to get back to the white paper. And some of these compositions are very highly worked into in that way. I also sometimes collage, where I add paper over to again get back to the white that I think is very, very important. But I layer using different kinds of inks. I use walnut ink, which is made from the black walnut tree. I use India ink, and then I also use watercolor gouache, pastel, charcoal pencil, and occasionally oil paint on top. I realized that in the summer I would go outside and I would do sort of casual studies with water media and drawing, and with just drawing materials. And I never actually respected that as much as the quote-unquote serious oil paintings I was doing in my studio during the rest of the year. And I think it just was a function of becoming a certain age and maturing and saying, to heck with it, this is what I want to do, and this is what I do better. And the work became much fresher and more original, and it's completely changed my life, really, and my success in the studio. I've basically been captivated by nature all of my life, and so to be doing this work that's inspired by what I see outdoors really culminates a lifetime of fascination for me.